Everybody talks about starting businesses now, and it's the big craze. Everybody wants to be an entrepreneur, ditch your 9 to 5, be their own boss, but they don't tell you the secret tips and tricks to actually starting the business. Everybody just talks about the upside, how much money you can make, and now even the world's biggest creators are becoming the world's biggest CEOs and entrepreneurs. For example, we have Mr. Beast with Feastables. We have Bridget Mendler, who is one of the stars of Good Luck Charlie, just raised a $12 million round and is the CEO of a space defense company. Who would have guessed that one? I guess you can say good luck, Charlie. We have Ryan Tran, who just launched his candy business. We have Eric with Pizzafy, and there's a ton more, and the list goes on, and it's only gonna be able to get longer. And there's more and more creators. The creator economy is growing bigger and bigger, and I think it's gonna have the potential to be the largest market in the entire world. But the thing that nobody's really talking about is how do you actually start the business? And it's a lot simpler than most people think, but the process itself, nobody ever talks about. I'm gonna break down exactly what the top 5 steps are to creating one of these businesses so you can be like not just the biggest creators in the world, but the biggest businessmen and women in the world as well. Because everybody started somewhere. Mark Zuckerberg built it out of his dorm room. Bill Gates built it when he was 19 years old. Elon Musk started when he was older, but he still built the biggest company in the entire world and continues to do so today. But they all followed this exact same formula of opening the business that you can too. Step 1 is simple. You just have to have the idea. This can be a product, a service, whatever you think it would be, based on what your expertise is, what you like to do, or a problem specifically you have in your life. When people ask me what kind of business they should start, I always tell them the same exact thing. Now, you have to be able to think critically, think different. What I tell people is to write down 10 problems that they have when they ask me what kind of business they should start. What's something in your life personally that's affecting you or somebody that you know? And write that down. From there, you think of a way to creatively solve that problem, or what would be the immediate way to solve that problem. And then you find what other companies have already solved that problem and how could you do it differently and more efficiently. And then from there, it just gets tougher. But there are easier steps in the process to do this. But yeah, it's not super easy. It's not super hard either. So here's a step-by-step process. Think of the world's biggest creator, Mr. Beast. Why would he ever think to sell a chocolate bar? Well, let's break it down. Mr. Beast's fan base is built around a younger audience. I honestly watch every single Mr. Beast video, but we think of Gen Z and the iPad kids of Gen Alpha. Those are the ones who watch Mr. Beast and are enticed by the activities that he does. So you think of a younger audience, energetic, has high dopamine levels, and likes having fun, let's say. So what's a product that he would want or a problem that he would have to solve for them? So specifically, if you're thinking from a consumer product standpoint, you're usually not solving a problem, but you're thinking of a way to make a solution already better. So people love candy, people love chocolate. Sugar rushes are big with people who eat chocolate. And Mr. Beast capitalized on this idea by creating a chocolate company. And he continued to iterate and make it more inventive by adding new flavors, putting in every single video almost like a organically centered ad where he doesn't have to do brand sponsorships anymore. But the big thing is finding the audience or solving the problem. And then from there, it makes it a lot easier. But that doesn't mean the process is still easy. Step 1 is honestly where most people fail, and most people just end up giving up because they can't even think of a problem that they have that they'll be able to solve. But the big thing is there's problems or solutions and steps. And you can break down every single part of every single process that has to do with starting a business. For me personally, I'm also a creator, but I had thought of my problem way beforehand. So I was thinking about it 4 years ago when I started the company. What's something that I want to go out and solve? What's something that's hurting me now? And it wasn't me personally, but it was my mom. So she had muscle and joint problems, and she was always limping and hobbling around because of the pain that she was in. So I thought, well, I'm a chemistry and biology major. Why don't I make something to help her do that? So now the company that you see linked all over my channel is specifically based off the idea that I wanted to help my mom, and now it's something that's grown into a full-scale company helping millions of people. Does that make sense? And once you get off the ground with step 1, the ball's in your court, but that's where it starts. It's kind of an uphill battle getting to step 1, but then once you have the idea, from there, kind of walking down the other side a little bit. Step 2 in creating a business is creating an incorporation. You have to be represented as a company in whatever city, state, country, universe that you're a part of. Man, that noise is so loud. And there's different ways that you can do this. Most companies are not going to have to raise funding. These are your service businesses. These are your like a waste management company or a consulting company. They're probably going to be under something called an LLC. LLCs get certain tax benefits, but we don't have to talk about all that fun stuff. We're just talking about the process of setting everything up. So for an LLC, you're not going to be planning on raising any funding throughout the entire duration of the company. And that's what most companies do. On the other hand, you have something called a C Corp, which is what I am. And those are companies that are planning on raising funding throughout the duration of the company that they're in. And by doing that, it means that you have specific amounts of equity that you can give out to other people. Yada, 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 boring, 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 right? So let's talk about Mr. Beast's company. He's probably an LLC because it's a consumer product and he makes a butt ton of money from the content and the revenue streams that he has from his channels, like his 69 channels that he has. So he probably doesn't need to do any extra funding. And I'm assuming that all these other creators that are a part of these channels as well, and oh, there's another car, and have all this external ad revenue are all LLCs. Probably Eric's Pizzafy, Emma Chamberlain's Coffee. I actually think Emma Chamberlain did bring on coffees or on Capital, so she is probably a C Corp. But all these other companies are LLCs as well. But for you and me, we would probably have to be C Corps and end up raising additional capital, which are some of the biggest companies in the world as well. And then number 3, seems scary, but people do it every single day. You have to go open a bank account underneath the company. And I remember the first time I did this, it was super cool seeing that it wasn't my name on the card, it was my company's name on the first car, because the car's coming by us right now, on the first card for the very first time. Seeing that Lectra Technologies was on the card, not just my name, was a really, really cool experience and one that I'm never gonna forget. But you wanna go into the bank and open it under your company, and it's gonna be, for example, Feastables LLC or Lectra Technologies C Corp. I actually need to go change mine today. That's on the list of stuff to do. But in doing this, it means that you're officially not just a registered company in the state of, most people are Delaware LLCs, by the way. I forgot to go back and do that. Most people are Delaware LLCs or Delaware C Corps because they have the most tax benefits out of any state in the entire United States, which is ridiculous. And that's what we are. We're a Delaware C Corp, so I would definitely recommend doing that as well. But back to opening the bank account. Once you do that, you're officially ready for step 4. Setting up a way to make money. Step 4, you have to set up an account to be able to collect money online, because that's how most people do commerce. And there's a couple ways you can do that. Main one that everybody talks about and uses is Shopify. Multi-billion-dollar company. They make it super easy. They set up the website for you. They make it easy to collect payments. You link your bank account that you just opened in the bank directly to this product or to this account, and then from there it makes it super easy. So all you have to do, you link the bank account to the website, and that means you're ready to accept money from all the millions and bajillions of people who want your service, your product, your goods, whatever it is that you're doing and you're selling. And it just makes everything super cool. I definitely would recommend using Shopify. They're not free, but they're only $20 a month. And then once you get your sales going, it doesn't matter. Then as you get more customers and you scale higher and higher, the fees get to be more and more. But I use Stripe right now, which is also a really, really good one, because then you can keep everything into one place and they're free. So I recommend using Stripe, but setting up your platform to be able to collect payments is Shopify, because they do the website for you. And we built my website from scratch with WordPress. 100% would not recommend doing that whatsoever. Now this takes you back to step 5, which is one of the hardest of the 5-step challenge, which is right up there with step 1. 2, 3, and 4 were the easy part. You want to get your business incorporated, bank account set up, and be able to collect the payments for the millions of dollars that people are going to put into your account after they buy your goods or services. And step 5, getting people to pay you for the thing that you're doing, which for a lot of people is where most businesses fail. But what I've learned from the hundreds of thousands of dollars that I've made from business so far and the deals that we've been working with is you have to direct everything back to the why. Why are you doing what you're doing? And why is it better than anything else that exists in the market today? For example, let's go back to the creator businesses again. We have Mr. Beast. Why is Mr. Beast better than Hershey's, which is America's leading chocolate brand? And a little fun fact here is Mr. Beast made $160 million last year. 70% of that came from chocolate revenue. You do the math. That's unreal. But why do people want Mr. Beast chocolate over any chocolate that exists? And Hershey's been around for hundreds of years. I actually live in Hershey. It's because of his branding. It's because of his why. It's because of the mission of what he's doing. Every single video that he has been creating for the last 10 years has planted a seed and created his audience, grown his community to be something that people are going to want in the future. That's why his merch did so well. That's why Beast Burger sold out that entire mall. That's why he does so well with Feastables. It's because of the brand around what he built. So when you're creating something, you want to create something to provide end value for the person that you're creating it for. And the best quote that I've heard that resonates with Feastables and all these other creator brands that are doing really well is people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do. So you have to create the strong why, which ties back to number 1. When you find out what problem you're going to solve, you need to create a story around why you're solving that problem. And that's what people buy into. They usually buy into the person behind the story of the product or the service. And that's why all these creator businesses are doing so well. Brian Trahan, I'm pretty sure, just sold $1 million worth of his sour sticks already, and it was literally out for a week. Now, it's easy to say, but those people have millions of followers, billions of views. They could sell anything they wanted to. I don't think they could, and we can take a deep dive back into the reason why they did the companies they do in the first place. Think of Eric. Eric has a big company. Eric has a massive channel, and he always talks about throughout the entire duration of his channel that he loves pizza. He built his entire brand about loving pizza, so it would make sense for him to make a sauce that has to do with pizza. The Hacksmith YouTube channel also has millions of followers. If you go back to their oldest video, it's about how to make the world's first lightsaber and graphic effects around making the lightsaber. And that's why people bought their lightsaber. They bought over $2 million worth of this titanium alloy lightsaber that they created. Past the point that lightsabers are real now and they're sick, it's the fact that they did it because people love the fact that they were community building for the last 10 years and had a strong why on their platform as to why they were creating in the first place. And your why doesn't have to resolve around the fact that you're a massive content creator. But they say the world's biggest CEOs are also the world's biggest content creators now too, because you almost do have to kind of simultaneously do both at the same time. For example, Scrub Daddy, one of the biggest and most recognizable sponge brands in the world, they weren't always like that. And the reason they got this popular was because of the way that they branded. He said that he wants to be the Scrub Daddy, which doesn't make any sense. But if you think about it, it doesn't have to make sense. It just needs to be something that resonates with people. And this leads all the way back to number 1. What is the problem you want to solve? How are you going to resonate with other people to buy it over what currently exists? And then how are you going to get people to consistently keep buying your stuff over that, build a community around it, and be able to create revenue and create a business out of that product? And that's what these creators are doing, and why I think that they're going to continue to be the biggest brands in the entire world. Number one, they have these huge organic audiences. Number two, they're community building. Number three, they're building around things that resonate with them personally. Now, if you're at the point where you don't know what business you would start, and you sit down and write down all these problems you could solve, and you can't come up with a plan, don't freak out. I have an idea. The main thing that these people are able to do is sell. So if you can learn to sell, you would be able to make a business out of anything in the long run. Doesn't matter what it is, doesn't matter what you're doing, but if you can sell, you will be able to make money in business. And this is what I would recommend doing that. I wanted to test the waters in doing that while also building my company just to make sure my sales tactics were staying sharp. So how I did that was I got on TikTok Shop. I created an entirely new TikTok Shop account just to test the waters to see if I was able to sell other people's products that were already established with their whys and the products that they built and everything that they built the community by. And within my first day of doing this, knowing everything I know about the creator economy, the accounts that I build, the products that I'm building, and the businesses that I'm building, I made over $100 in the first day selling other people's products, just resonating with their why and learning their story. And if you teach yourself this skill, it'll be able to community build around whatever product you're making, whatever business you're trying to build as well. And the main problem that people run into, and the reason that there's gonna be a ton of people below this video that said the tactic that I just mentioned doesn't work, is because people don't see the end of the tunnel. They expect it to work immediately, and that's just not how everything works. It takes time to build a business. Mr. Beast built his business over 10 years. Logan Paul says you have to build something for 10 years before it does anything. And I'm not just trying to resonate off these creators. Elon Musk built for years and years before he had any of his first sales. Jeff Bezos was 33 before he even started Amazon. Learn how to sell. Get onto something like TikTok Shop, which is blowing up. For example, in China right now, there's over 860 people that sold $100 million worth of products last year, which means that there's over $860 million worth of products sold, and each of those individuals got over $15 million just learning and resonating with another company's why. And when you're building this and you're working on pushing yourself towards creating something that's bigger than yourself, it takes time. It takes time to learn the processes. It takes time to learn the whys. And the most successful people aren't the ones who see the light at the end of the tunnel right away. They're the ones who see just enough light to take the next step. And that's what's most important about it. And if there's anything that you would learn from this video, it's that there's no get-rich-quick scheme. There's no process that's gonna make you rich overnight. And if somebody is telling you that there is, or there's a process that you can do it, you are lying. But there are steps that make the process much easier and the revenue potential way higher that you could start right now. And I'm saying the first thing to do, sit down, write down products, write down problems that you have in your life pertaining to yourself or other people around you. Figure out what those are. And then step two is figure out immediately how you would solve them in the quickest and most efficient way. Then if you feel that it's something that you can make a business out of and run with, you get incorporated, you open a bank account, and then you figure out the way of having people give you money. And I would say make sure you have step 5 down before you even start on step 3. Have step 5 down, have step 1 down, and then work on 2, 3, and 4, and the rest, it's gonna be history for itself. And TikTok Shop is already huge in China, and it's getting big in the United States. They're doing over $5 million in sales every single day. Whether you want it to or not, whether it's showing up on your feed and it's annoying or not, TikTok Shop is not gonna go anywhere, and it's gonna continue to get bigger. Same thing with Amazon. Amazon is literally just trying to compete with TikTok Shop by adding customer review videos underneath their products. And they're trying to pay people so much money just to be able to do it, and people just don't care like they do from TikTok because that's what they're known for. Amazon's known for selling products. TikTok's known for selling ideas. And that's the reason why they're doing so well. Instagram is known for sharing experiences, and that's why their shop failed. And that's why TikTok is going to continue to have these shop options reign supreme, and it's going to continue to get bigger and bigger. But the reason I'm saying this is you can still make a ton of money learning the process of selling other people's why to create your own. And I think that community building process of building a social media account to sell products to other people is a great way to start if you don't know the problems that you have right now. And another option too, you could sit down and look at the biggest brands in the world. Do your research. Why did they get big? How did they get big? What was the reason that they started it in the first place? Who was the mastermind behind where it started? Learn their stories. Where did they grow up? Where did they go to school? And why were they the perfect person to do what they did, and why did it work the way that they did? Did other people try to make what they made, and why did they fail if they did? It's an entire process, a learning experience for everything. Life takes an entire lifetime to figure out, and it's not gonna be figured out overnight. Some people get lucky, that's how it is. Other people learn the process and win the right way. And by watching this video, you're taking a step in the right process by doing that exact thing. If you enjoyed all this, I appreciate every single person watching the video in the first place, but definitely subscribe because we got a lot more videos coming like this. I appreciate all you guys watching. Lecture to Mars. I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.